Today's video is brought to you by seedsnow.com.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching AMTV News. I'm your anchor, Topher Morrison. It is Monday, June 26, 2013. Is John Kerry right in our first story, civil rights and law news? So the NSA whistleblower, Edward Snowden, is purportedly on the Sino-Russian underground railroad of sorts, heading for Ecuador via Moscow and Cuba. This will be another very public snub of U.S. policy by President Rafael Correa after housing Julian Assange of WikiLeaks in his London embassy. But before we start praising Correa's style of government-sponsored freedom and other ostensible advocates of free speech like Russia and China, perhaps a moment of pause is in order. Although it might be delightful to see U.S. government thwarted in its attempts to stifle transparency, Secretary of State John Kerry brings up a great point. There is no small irony here. I wonder if Mr. Snowden chose China and Russian assistance because they're such powerful bastions of internet freedom. And I wonder if while he was in either of those countries, he raised the question of internet freedom, since that seems to be what he champions. A nice jab from Secretary Kerry. However, Snowden explained he chose these countries specifically to avoid capture until his work was done. There is something, however, to say about transparency's activists' own fights in these respective countries. Does protecting Snowden give undue currency to these authoritarian governments? For example, Ecuador's media law, approved last week, establishes official media overseers, imposes sanctions for besmirching personal reputations, and limits private ownership to only a third of radio and television licenses, reports the Associated Press. The late Michael Hastings, who passed in a mysterious car crash, reported a White House official expressed the administration's tenor with regard to its war on whistleblowers. Quote, F. Bradley Manning, one official said. In the end, in a world of dubious democracies and hard-handed autocrats, perhaps the real irony here is how can we use them against each other? In our next story, left coast gun control continues. California has a Democratic supermajority in Sacramento, and the Senate has approved 8 gun control bills, including a state ammo registry run by the Department of Justice. While federal legislation died recently due to a hail of pro-gun right arguments, the California State Senate has passed SB 53, which would force gun owners to submit personal info, undergo a background check, and pay $50 just to qualify to buy ammunition. Now, Senator Kevin DeLeon, Democrat of LA, thinks it a little outrageous that just anyone can go in and walk into a store and buy ammo, no questions asked. Senator Jim Nielsen, on the other hand, evidently thinks it's outrageous to criminalize this, quote, historic behavior, and believes it to be an onerous burden on gun owners. SB 374 forces virtually all semi-automatic rifles to register with the state. SB 396 bans standard capacity magazines over 10 rounds. SB 47 restricts bullet buttons, allowing the magazine to be easily detached and replaced, enabling a quick reload that California's assault weapon law sought to ban. SB 567 classifies certain shotguns as assault rifles. SB 683 requires all gun buyers to take a firearm safety certificate class. SB 755 would expand the panorama of crimes, resulting in a 10-year ban on owning or buying firearms, including drug, alcohol-related offenses, hazing, violation of protective orders, and court-ordered mental treatment. But that's the beauty of our democratic laboratories, is it not? If you don't like a law, vote with your feet. Arizona and Nevada are right next door and have been enjoying the great California exodus for over a decade now. Capturing every corner of the alternative media, watch AMTV News Monday through Friday. Got a tip or interesting news clip? Shoot me an email at tophermorrison@amtvmedia.com. Follow me on Twitter at AMTV News and like me on Facebook at The Real Topher Morrison. And find my source material and more videos like these at AMTV Media and greenwave.com. Both are part of the AMTV network. This is AMTV News, the voice of independence.